Best game in college basketball tonight is in San Diego. Number 3 Gonzaga and Caliph Battle are in town. It's a sellout at Viejas. Point guard Nick Boyd is ready to go. Gonzaga, San Diego State. Here they come into Viejas, and they've had this one marked for about a year. Number 3 Gonzaga is in town, and San Diego State is 2-0. How lucky are we? Hi, everybody. Rich Waltz, along with former Bulldog All-American Dan Dickau. This is special, right? Even in mid-November, this feels like a spark. Gonzaga's number 3. San Diego State is 2-0. You've got this great environment. 2 of the best teams on the West Coast over the last 5 to 7 years. Maybe the 2 best fan bases as well. And there's juice in this because last year San Diego State went to Spokane and beat the Bulldogs, who are a top 20 team.
Well, this crowd is ready. Both teams are ready, and I completely agree. Over the last 5 to 7 years, these are the 2 best programs on the West Coast. Both have been to a Final Four, a national title game. This is a revenge game, possibly, for the Aztecs winning in Spokane a season ago.
How do you get to number 3? Well, you wipe out Baylor, and then you beat Arizona State. And this guy in those games is just put up some crazy numbers, Ryan Nembhard.
He's been a maestro at the point guard position to start this season. Those numbers are off the charts, but what he does is he makes the simple play, but he also makes the simple play unbelievably repetitive. It could be a difficult play, he makes it look simple. He can drive, kick, and make plays out of the pick and roll, and if you get out on a break, he's just gonna entice you to fly.
Oh, amazing. 30 assists and 2 turnovers. For San Diego State, good news. One of their good young players is back after an ankle scare. And man, Miles Byrd, the sophomore, has a very high ceiling.
Well, they weren't quite sure if he was going to play until shoot-around today. He looks fine going through pregame warm-ups. He has made a tremendous jump year to year. He impacts the game in so many different facets with his length, his athleticism, his IQ, and his skill set. Gonzaga's going to have their hands full with Miles Byrd because he is a tremendous player.
It's a young San Diego State team. Gonzaga is here. They are number 3 in the country. The Aztecs and the Bulldogs. Revenge on the minds of Gonzaga. San Diego State so good at home. Sell out in San Diego. Let's go, kids.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
11,000 stuffed into here, and the show, one of the largest and loudest student sections, ready to go. Mark Few, man, Hall of Famer, 26th year. A terrific run at Gonzaga. The starting lineups, boy, the Bulldogs have really shot the ball well, especially Nolan Hickman and Caliph Battle. And for San Diego State, a lot of new faces here. Nick Boyd from FAU, Miles Byrd does get the start, and BJ Davis has played well. Brian Dutcher taking the torch from Steve Fisher, who is here tonight, and he has run with it and done amazing things all the way to a national championship game. Dan Dickau, what's the tempo like here? Because the Bulldogs are averaging over 100 a game.
They want to play as fast as anybody in the country. San Diego State will play fast, but their defense makes it difficult to play at the pace that Gonzaga wants. Gonzaga wants it in the 80s or 90s. San Diego State would love it in the 70s, maybe even the 60s.
First shot, that's Battle, and he missed it. Rebound, tipped out of bounds. That's headed San Diego State's way.
Well, Battle got a good look at it. As you mentioned right off the top, he's been shooting the heck out of it from beyond the three-point line, 61% through the first 3 games. Hands and feet were ready, just didn't knock it down.
Aztecs are young in spots. They lost a lot from last year's team. Another Sweet 16 team. Drive, kick, Davis missed the 3. Ike has the rebound, and a foul, a rebounding foul on Gonzaga. I think it was Ike on a push, and that doesn't make Mark Few happy at all.
Well, it clearly was a foul. It just seemed to be an extremely late whistle from the baseline official.
Aztecs really haven't been tested. They beat UC San Diego. That was a tight game, won by 5, and then beat Occidental by 51. This is Boyd, faced San Diego State in the national semifinals in the Final Four. Magoon Guath, big man, can shoot it, and he misses from 16. Nembhard pushing tempo. Tough to do that against San Diego State. Nembhard, a step back 3.
Right off the bat, you get an example of just how fast Gonzaga wants to play. San Diego State was back in transition. He created something out of nothing there.
5 of 8 from distance is Nembhard in this young season. And EK on a reach picks up his 2nd foul, and we're not even 2 minutes into this one.
We get another look at the Nembhard 3. Got Davis back on his heels. Good start for him, but for EK with Gonzaga, you're hedging on that pick and roll. You can get there with your chest and your body, but you can't slap directly in front of the official 35 feet away from the basket.
Braden Huff comes in, and he's been dominant this year for Gonzaga. Huff at 6'10", the sophomore, averaging 16 a game. That's Davis, turned away. Ajayi, blocked. That's Guath.
Talk about length.
Boyd driving, blocked from behind. Hickman took it away, and here come the Bulldogs. No look, Huff, left hand, and that is Gonzaga basketball. Blink and you miss them.
Well, that's part of the beauty of Gonzaga over the years is their best teams have had 2 ball handler decision makers. Yeah, Nembhard gets the majority of the credit as a point guard, but Hickman can make those same kind of plays.
Pick and pop, Coleman Jones misses. Bird, that ankle looks pretty good. Stripped away by Battle, and there they go again. Battle in transition. Hickman with a bump, no whistle, and the rebound to San Diego State. 5-0 start for number 3 Gonzaga. Aztecs have opened this game 0 for 4, and Boyd is fouled by Nembhard on his way to the bucket. No basket, baseline out of bounds.
Good job from Hickman, not quitting on the play when he gets beat. Comes up with a shot block from behind, and then the simple push in transition. Huff doing a great job as a big, run into the rim in transition.
Against Huff. Coleman Jones, that's blocked. 17 on the shot clock. Interior defense, very good so far for Gonzaga. Another whistle, and that's Ajayi. Freedom of movement is still a point of emphasis, trying to get the physicality out of the game to some extent.
There's 4 fouls in the first 2.5 minutes. You've got to adjust as a player as the game gets going and you see how the officials call it.
Bulldogs, tenacious defense. Guath is just a freshman. Kick. Coleman Jones, that's a 3. Middle Tennessee State transfer, does a little bit of everything. Ajayi driving. A leading scorer in the conference last year at Pepperdine, fouled, and he goes to the line.
Coleman Jones gives Brian Dutcher a different dimension than a lot of bigs in past years at San Diego State. Shot 44% from the 3-point line a season ago at Middle Tennessee State. Not a ton of attempts, but you see there, good footwork, good balance, good release. True for 3 from the corner.
His first free throw of the season.
I'm a little shocked at that stat right there. First free throw of the season. As aggressive as Ajayi was a season ago at Pepperdine, how much pressure he puts on the defense, that I'm sure has been a point of emphasis at Gonzaga practices.
He's really had to take a different role here with the Bulldogs, and he's accepted that. Boyd who was out for 8 weeks in the fall. Brian Dutcher feels he's just getting back to where he was. Right on cue. He hit 4 of those against San Diego State in the national semifinal game for FAU. Battle off a screen, crossover, and gets it to go, and gets a free throw. He is a flat-out scorer.
He is an explosive scorer, and if you want to know how to attack a shot blocker, put this play on replay. Go into that shot blocker's chest, take away some of their explosiveness. Terrific job from Battle to finish through contact, chance of the three-point play. I know it's only 4 games in, but it's almost been a perfect match battling Gonzaga.
Lagoon Guath comes out. Sorry about that, Daniel. Our first dance of the year. And Miles Heide is in for San Diego State. Caleb Battle. This is his 4th stop on the college tour. Butler, Temple, 1 year at Arkansas, and his final year, I think, at Gonzaga, his 6th season.
Well, you never know with college eligibility rules these days. Somebody might be able to sneak another one in there somehow, but he has been really good. Finished his time at Arkansas. Last 7 games, averaged nearly 30 a game. He's continued it here with the start here at Gonzaga.
That's another foul, and that's Battle. Mark Few is hot. That's an obvious foul, right? I mean, he's coming at him. Davis goes up for the ball, and
good call from the official.
you can't go through the receiver to get the ball, Dan.
Now, I don't know football rules very well, but I've played enough basketball to know that, yes, that should be a foul. Coach Few did not agree directly in front of us.
Boyd. And it looks like Battle got popped in the eye. Kick back out. And a miss there by Miles Berg. We got a lot of lefties in this game, by the way. One of them's calling for the ball on the blocks right now. And that's Braden Huff. San Diego State trying to turn the dial up on the defense. They can do that. Number 3 Gonzaga, up early, 9-6. Nine-6 start for Gonzaga. A little history lesson. 2 premier programs on the West Coast. They've played each other not a lot. I mean, beating a ranked Gonzaga team, go back to 2010. The Bulldogs were number 11. How about 2017? That was 2023, that's just last year. That was late December. That was a big, big win for Brian Dutcher. That, along with a lot of other Mountain West teams, was part of a great non-conference. But 0-12 against top 5 opponents in regular season. They've got that here with Gonzaga being number 3. Of course, in the Mountain West, 6 teams, 6 made the NCAA tournament last year. Of course, they should rename the tournament the Mark Few Invitational. He's been there every year he's coached at Gonzaga. That's crazy good.
It's pretty unbelievable the success both of these programs have had, but for Gonzaga, 27 straight 20-win seasons, 17 straight 25-win seasons. And on the flip side, to talk about the success of San Diego State against Gonzaga, one of the very few programs that have a winning record against Gonzaga.
You can't leave Huff that open. This kid is going to be a big-time scorer. It feels like he's already there. And he's got 5 in this game.
Just such a unique knack for scoring. Braden Huff, left-handed post gives him a little bit of advantage, but he can score around the rim, and as you see there, step out beyond the three-point line, knock it down.
Dusty Stromer is in, along with Ben Gregg for the Bulldogs. That's a contested 3 from a guy who can score. Wayne McKinney III scored for San Diego, not San Diego State. Steve Lavin's group across the valley. And he's going to spend a year here and much needed pop off the bench. This is Huff again. This one is long. Bird runs down the rebound. All points are from distance in this one. This is a Dan Dickow special.
I had the freedom to shoot it. I would shoot it as many times as I could, just like both squads are. They're definitely...
Oh, Dan Dickow!
Well, when you start knocking it down from beyond the arc, the defense must close out. The aggressiveness and the ability for McKinney to put the ball on the deck, spin cycle, get to the rim, finish through contact. San Diego kid, as you mentioned, played for the Toreros. He's loving finishing his career with the Aztecs.
He's made most of his points in his career from two-point range. He's a dynamic two-point field goal scorer. Those are rare in college basketball. This offseason, he really worked on his three-point shot. It's a 6-0 run and a 12-all game.
This is the kind of start that San Diego State had wanted to have. Get this crowd energized, keep them in it.
Oh, Nemhard. Huff against Heidi. Passes out. Nemhard. Corner. Hickman baseline. Dumps it off, and Gregg draws contact and gets to the line.
That's the second great left-handed pass off the dribble from Hickman. The first led to Huff, layup in transition. This time sneaking along the baseline to Ben Gregg. Gets fouled at the line for two.
Remember, Hickman was a point guard 2 years ago and had to carry that load and did it quite well. There's a lot of teams that have experience in college basketball, right? Seniors, fifth-year guys, even sixth-year guys. Not a lot of that for San Diego State, but a ton for Gonzaga. Look at that, 81%. And the thing about their experience is they've played together for a while. And that connectivity is something that a lot of coaches are trying to find in this transactional period of college basketball where players are coming and going.
10 of their 12 players could have returned from last year. They lost Anton Watson to the NBA with the Boston Celtics. But then you pick up Battle as well as Ajayi and others in the transfer portal. Terrific job by the Gonzaga staff.
Ben Gregg's going to get a rebounding foul here. You can see the team fouls now into 1-1, and that's a really early 1-1 with 13:37 left first half. This is not the San Diego State team that you're used to see, with like a giant rim protector and a muscle guy. Ledee is gone from last year, Jaden Ledee. They're you know, a guy that's beloved here. Lamont Butler's gone, Micah Parrish is gone, Darian Trammell, Elijah Saunders, all of those guys Brian Dutcher had to replace. He's done it quite well, but much of the replacements are young and inexperienced.
Well, Coach Dutcher really likes his team, you know, but the only problem is over the course of the summer and fall, there was a lot of injuries, so he still hasn't seen them all together and see how they're going to gel, but he thinks their best basketball is going to come later in the season. They're going to be something to deal with.
Pharaoh Compton on the floor with the rebound. Compton and Taj DeGorville, two fabulous freshmen. This is DeGorville, who was out of bounds when he got that pass, and it's a turnover.
He's such a fun coach to talk to at shoot-around. He's almost like an open book. He'll tell you about all his frustrations with his team, what he likes about other teams. You get a look at how successful he's been. And a lot of people thought when Steve Fisher was going to retire, it kind of might fizzle. It's been the exact opposite. He's continued the ascension that those two started together many years ago.
Nemhard misses, got the rebound, no reset. And Hickman driving. Funny thing about Brian Dutcher, too, you know, you look at his resume in the championship game and the Sweet 16 last year, his best team, maybe the best team in San Diego State history for the whole time, never got to the NCAA tournament because it was canceled because of COVID. They were 30-2 that year, Dan, and they were going to be a 1 seed or a high 2 seed. That's a nice interior look, and Huff pays it off.
Yeah, you and I called a number of their games that year. Malachi Flynn transferred in from Washington State. He was spectacular throughout the whole season, directing traffic, hitting big shots. That team had legitimate Final Four potential as well.
To Goreville and Compton, both out of Las Vegas. This is Compton with the left hand, and the rebound to Ajayi. That's a Bulldog ball. And the officials confer, they're sending this back. So they say it went off of Ajayi. And San Diego State's going to get the ball back.
Well, as physical as this game has been, Mark Few's asking why that wasn't a foul from Guath on the offensive glass.
Shot clock down, and a shot clock violation as Pharaoh Compton's shot is off. So Compton and DeGorville are a pair of freshmen, and they're playing right now in a big-time game. Hard and B.J. Davis battling still. And Davis is going to get called for the reach.
Talk about the inexperience a little bit of this San Diego State team. B.J. Davis is a player last year, as good as he may have been able to prove that he wasn't going to get minutes.
No.
When you had Lamont Butler, Darion Trammell, Reese Waters, who's out still with injury now, was playing heavy minutes last year. So they didn't know what to expect, and had 28 in a scrimmage against UCLA and really opened up Brian Dutcher's eyes that he's going to be a big part of what they do this year.
That's a good look, and Guath with the block. It's pinned. Possession arrow will go to Gonzaga. That's a redshirt freshman there. Magoon Guath out of Euless, Texas. There's your rim protector for San Diego State. And the big fella pins it. An early wedgie in San Diego. (16-12), Gonzaga on top. Under 12 timeout finishing. Hey, college basketball continues Thursday. Continental Tire Baja Mar Championship tip-off, 7 Eastern. Big-time matchups, too. Number 22, St. John's. Number 13, Baylor. Followed by Virginia against number 11, Tennessee. It's right here on CBS Sports Network. How did we not draw that assignment in the sun with the beach?
San Diego's pretty nice.
Yeah, with this.
Although we were in the gym all day, shoot-arounds.
Yeah, and I'm going to Laradice this next weekend, which is just going to be really cold.
So there's always two big decisions to make when you have that assignment, Laramie, Wyoming. Do you drive from Denver, or do you take the small jet and have to get in much earlier to Laramie because there's like 2 flights in a day?
Now you just check the weather before you, because it always changes. All right, here we go. Another whistle inside, and Compton and Stromer collide, and the whistles are starting to even out a bit. And Pharaoh Compton, yeah, you can see the body in the block.
That's an area of the game Dusty Stromer has been really good at early in this sophomore season. Defensively taking on the challenge, whether it's perimeter, sliding his feet, keeping the defender in front, or in that situation, physically battling in the post.
Oh, good hands by the freshman, DeGorville. B.J. Davis. And that's how San Diego State makes their money, defense to offense. Tough. Really good in the low blocks. Good defense by the freshman. Shot clock down, runner, and that's Hickman, the runner from the left side.
That's an overlooked shot by so many young guards in the game due to analytics really kind of becoming a focal point. Threes and rims shots, but you've got to be able to knock down that mid-range runner in the paint.
Stromer with the offside rebound. Here comes Battle up the floor. Bumped, no whistle, and a rebound there by Pharaoh Compton. It's a physical game. McKinney all the way in. Oh, the dunk missed. And Gonzaga may have numbers. Battle going hard to the bucket. There's contact. And he'll get free throws. Taj DeGorville with the foul.
We talked San Diego State wants to play at a slower pace, but if they turn you over, they will take advantage. Good job DeGorville getting in the passing lane. B.J. Davis with the easy two.
Brian Dutcher, I'm not sure if it was shooting or before the shot. It's 1 and 1 or it's 2. I think it's 2. It is. Battle already in this game. He has made his mark to Goreville and Compton. Those guys played together since they were in grade school in Las Vegas. And here they are as freshmen at San Diego State. They're on their way out.
And DeGorville committed to San Diego State first.
Bird and Boyd back in. Quath is in as well.
You see this a lot from Gonzaga after made free throws. Three-quarter court pressure. Sometimes they eat up the clock, but sometimes simply to get a different ball handler needing to enter the opponent's offense.
Speaking of entering, Graham Ike is back in the game with 2 fouls, and we're not even halfway through. Now we're halfway through. Quath stumbles through the lane. Battle up to Hickman. Steps on the gas, gets to the rim, and now gets to the line. Gonzaga wants basket like a goaltend. Maybe somebody hit the rim while the ball was up on the cylinder. Let's take a look. Did you get a piece of that?
It looked like he did. The question is does the official believe the ball hit the backboard before he got a finger on it?
If it didn't, the ball was on its way up. So Hickman to the line and hits the first free throw. He's been a really steady player for Mark Few. Nolan Hickman, second team West Coast Conference last year. Every year his three-point shooting percentage has gone up.
Gonzaga back in the three-quarter court press.
Bird, Boyd, Davis in the backcourt for San Diego State. Quath can shoot the three. So can Boyd. Shot clock down, the double comes. Bird launches. Ajayi. Battle. Plows through the lane. That's an offensive foul. And he doesn't like the call.
Well, he's kept himself under control throughout their first 3 games. He's gotten a little bit rattled here at Viejas this evening.
That's pretty clear. What do you think?
He was trying to avoid contact. The angle that he was getting away, I think Bird did a nice job selling it. That's a difficult one if you're a Gonzaga fan.
It's his second. And so Battle comes out of the game. Ike's in there with 2 right now. Boyd lost his dribble. San Diego State, 5 of 18 from the field. 3 of those 5 are three-point shots. Boyd with the shot clock going down. Got to get to the rim. Does. And Ike to Nembhard. Hickman. Ajayi against Guath. Good feed, and Ike finishes. And that's an example of Guath. The redshirt freshman doesn't have a lot of strength inside.
Well, he's a tremendous shot blocker, but he's different than some of the shot blockers like Nathan Mensah they've had in the past.
Turnaround, and Bird misses it. And the Aztecs are having trouble knocking down shots.
Not a good shot that time from Bird.
The 8-0 run in a long drought for San Diego State. Cloth with a block. Bird in transition to the trailer, and a nice layup by Coleman Jones. Baseline jumper, Ajayi. You got guys who really have scored it in their career coming into Gonzaga's team this year. And Ajayi, one of those, he led the West Coast Conference and obviously battled 15 a game at Arkansas.
That's just a big time play. That's a pro move right there. Step off the block, reverse pivot, face up. If there's space, shoot it.
6 of 21 are the Aztecs, 8 of 18 from the field. Gonzaga. That's no great shakes. Ike spinning. Cloth with the reach. And a timeout on the floor.
You throw it down when you've got an advantage in the post. Reverse pivot, face. 2 points, Michael Ajayi, Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, who absolutely blew out Baylor and then beat Arizona State. Now number 3 in the country and 3-0. Their standard is it's a pretty high bar, Dan Vinca, right? And you were part of it at the beginning, and yourself went to some NCAA tournaments. 9 straight Sweet 16s right now. It's the second longest streak all time. Each of the last 6 seasons, they're one of only 4 teams that has actually been in the top 10. And here they are at number 3. The Baylor win just substantially rocked the AP top 25 because Baylor was up there and Gonzaga just shellacked them. That game was not close.
Well, it was 101-63, and Gonzaga jumped on them early and never let their foot off the gas. Baylor made a mini run early in the second, but then almost in about a 90-second span, K-Lift Battle hit 3 threes and extended it, and then Gonzaga ran away with it. But I think it was one of those things over the last couple of years as we saw those numbers is with the transfer portal, with NIL. A lot of people thought Gonzaga at many different times were going to come back to others' perceived reality, and in all honesty, they've kept progressing forward.
They've been shooting free throws well, even though that was a miss there. They're 9 of 11 tonight. Farrell Compton is back in. Heidi takes a 3 and missed it. He doesn't shoot it very often. He's 0 of 5 from distance in his career. Hickman. Good rebound by Compton. McKinney back in the ball game. Looking for a lane. Boyd turned down a 3. 11-point Gonzaga lead. Aztecs have struggled from the field, 6 of 23. Rebounding is dead even right now, 14 apiece. Shot clock down. McKinney gets some space, and that one is short. For the most part, the Bulldogs have had to earn their points in a half-court set. And Heidi, closing down, gets the foul.
Great patience there from Michael Ajayi on the low block. Had the mismatch with McKinney. Nembhard couldn't deliver it. Ike flashed high-low and just held the seal to be able to give Ike time to get that pass over the top. One of the things that Gonzaga does so well is that high-low, big-to-big action.
Give Ike credit. He came back in with 2 fouls, and it wasn't like he was a ghost. He was still sticking his nose in it.
And one of those fouls early on for him was too aggressive in pick-and-roll defense where he got fouled. He's been much better in this second stint of minutes of being early in defensive pick-and-roll coverage, is not overextending and putting himself in a foul position.
The lead is stretched to 12. If you're just joining us, it's the largest lead for Gonzaga They were named number 3 in the country with the AP poll released this afternoon. Kansas number 1, UConn number 2, Gonzaga number 3. UConn and Gonzaga play in New York here in a few weeks. Spinning hook, and Farrell Compton, the 6'8 freshman, went to high school in Las Vegas.
And he's going to be a good player in time, as is Magoon Guath, Taj Dejervel. There is a lot of young talent.
Ajayi, no. Boyd with the rebound, and a foul on Gonzaga. CBS Sports recognizes Native American Heritage Month, a time to embrace tribal identity, celebrate the history, the customs, and legacy of the nation's original citizens. Of course, these two schools, non-conference game here. In 2 years, it'll be a conference game. They're both headed to the reconstituted Pac-12.
It's going to be a heck of a basketball league, too. You've got these two schools, Boise State, who's the favorite to win the Mountain West this year.
Colorado State, who's been to NCAA tournament with Nico Medved regularly.
Utah State, Washington State, who made a run last year. Oregon State was flirting with a Final Four a few years back, and then Fresno State. They still have to get one more football school, if I'm not mistaken.
They do. Got a couple years for that. Hickman feeds the post. That's Huff. He has a soft touch. He shot so well from the field last year, 63%.
A terrific post defense there from Compton. Huff could not back him down, get to his spot.
Aztecs, McKinney driving, rising, missed it. Big collision. Ball's out of bounds, and it stays Aztec ball. This tempo and pace favor San Diego State. But they're still down 8. That's how good Gonzaga is.
Well, we mentioned it at the top. Gonzaga really wants to get that game in the 90s if possible. They can play the slow, grinded out game a little bit more than people would expect, but San Diego State makes you earn everything on the offensive end in the half court.
Compton misses from in tight. Boyd has the steal. And the bucket.
Nice finish there from Boyd.
This home crowd, Gonzaga has taken them out of the game, and they're trying to get back in it. Nembhard is bumped. Jared Coleman-Jones with the foul.
Nick Boyd has big shoes to fill with Lamont Butler being gone, but with his skill set, his mindset, his physicality, he's got a chance to become a really good player under Brian Dutcher.
What did Dutcher tell us today when his name popped up on the portal? It was like, that guy.
Remembered him from the Final Four. He wanted him to direct the show, knowing that Lamont Butler was heading out himself.
Yeah, he's like, we couldn't stop that guy. Let's get him.
Yeah, 4 made threes will definitely make a coach remember you.
Nembhard, 2 assists, 1 turnover in this game, and that's saying something. He's got 32 assists, and now what? Two turnovers?
Yeah.
No, 3 turnovers. Excuse me. Pretty amazing. That's Boyd. Clears himself for 3. Stromer got it. Dusty Stromer, the sophomore, hits a 3. And the Bulldogs back up by double digits. On the road, hostile environment, no problem so far. .351 left, first half. Gonzaga right now an 11-point lead. San Diego State not shooting it well. From the 2-pack to the new pack. It starts in 2026. The Bulldogs, the last to join. Oregon State, Boise State, Washington State, Utah State. A lot of states in there. Fresno State, San Diego State. And you know, they do need one more football playing program. Dan, for schools that do start college football, oftentimes they turn to their alums for large donations to get a football program started. I'm just saying that maybe you and Adam Morrison, some of the guys can get it, because I think Gonzaga would have some sick-looking helmets, right? I mean, that logo on the side of a helmet.
Gonzaga is a terrific basketball school. I'll leave it at that. They've been so good for so long, they were able to be patient until there was a conference realignment that made sense for them.
All right, last 4 minutes of this half. San Diego State obviously wants to shoot better and get a little closer before halftime. And a good job by Ben Gregg. Strips the ball. Hickman along with Nembhard in the backcourt. That's a lot of games played between those two. Nembhard, of course, started his career at Creighton. Big East Freshman of the Year. Hickman has been along for the ride at Gonzaga. Stromer, tough pair of sophomores. Shot clock down. Nembhard against the big, falling away. That's pretty.
Big time shot. Shot clock winding down after the switch, is able to create space with Jared Coleman-Jones backpedaling.
Largest lead for the Bulldogs. 13 points. Gonzaga 42% from the field. And that goes for DeGorville.
That was shot with a ton of confidence there by DeGorville. He's got a unique skill set for a young wing. He's strong, he can rebound, they like his IQ.
Hickman around a screen, into the lane, another floater, missed it. And the other freshman, we've been talking about Compton, DeGorville with a shot and a rebound and another three. That's off. Nembhard thought about the three. Both these teams have a gauntlet of a schedule coming up in the next 3 weeks. Good pick, pop, huff, three. Yeah! Wow, that's pretty. And that's a sophomore who might just lead the West Coast Conference in scoring this year. I'll say it right now, Dan Dickey.
It makes it look easy. Touch around the rim. He can shoot it effortlessly behind the three-point line. He's got to become a better free throw shooter, but he'll have plenty of opportunities.
AT&T at the half. Look at this lineup. Brent Stover, Chris Walker, Steve Lapis, John Rothstein. We'll get you caught up on all the scores and highlights from tonight. Latest news, new AP poll. They'll chew on that for sure. The AT&T at the half is coming up. Mark Few and Brian Dutcher embraced at half court before this one. It's great to see, especially these two programs who've been so good, the two best programs on the West Coast in terms of wins and losses and championship game appearances over the last 5 years. It's great to see them playing each other in a home and home, not in some arena in Las Vegas or Arizona or South Dakota. We'll come to your place, you come to our place.
Yeah, I get the allure of a lot of the MTEs and the neutral site games, but I think college basketball needs more of what this series has been last year in this. Go to your opposing gym and see if you can get the other team's crowd to be quiet.
Hickman missed a long three. DeGorville bounced off of Hickman. Great look down low.
Great pass there for Miles Bird.
Compton with the flush. Crowd's back in it, and it's back to single digits. Nice little run by San Diego State. Minute and a half left in the first. Birds to Compton. This is a relatively young San Diego State team to what they're used to. Brian Dutcher starting a pair of sophomores and a redshirt freshman. And then off the bench, we've seen Pharaoh Compton and Taj DeGorville, two true freshmen, get a lot of runs so far. You see the little spurts and what you think you're going to see with more consistency as the season goes along.
You see the physicality which they want to play with. It's just a matter of getting used to doing it in long stretches like Brian Dutcher has always taught them to do.
Nembhard creating and Gregg finishing. And Gonzaga stretches it back to 11. Bird against Stromer, crosses over in the lane. Up and under, wow, that's creative.
The spin game off the glass for Boyd.
Bulldogs off the made bucket. Pushing tempo. We're under a minute left, first half. Nembhard, big screen from Gregg. Nembhard stopped, falling away, it's blocked.
Wow, Compton got back to that one. Shows you his length, his reaction on that end of the floor.
Shot clock, game clock are almost the same. Brian Dutcher takes a timeout. 30-second timeout, 40-31. It's a lot of juice and bounce in this building right now. For the most part, Gonzaga's kept the crowd out of it. San Diego State really hasn't had a huge run. They had that 6-0 run that got them close, but down 9 here. Dan Dickau, put your pen to the grease board here with 25 seconds left.
Well, Gonzaga is surprisingly showing zone here. We'll see if they match up on the first pass, but if you're San Diego State, you want to make sure you take the last shot of the half and don't allow maybe a long run out where there's ability for the Gonzaga to get a quick shot off as the time expires.
Here we go, 7 seconds left. Boyd driving, kicking, Bird rising, 3, no! Stromer with the rebound, and the Bulldogs will go into the locker room with a 9-point lead at the half. Miles Bird missing the 3. Good work from Mark Few's bench. Gonzaga trying to get to 4-0, and this would be a real quality road win if they get it. 40-31. Bulldogs on top. Stay tuned, AT&T at the half. Coming up after these messages, a halftime lead for number 3, Gonzaga. A 40-31 halftime lead back in Viejas. Rich Waltz, along with Dan Dickau. This is a number 3 team in the country, and they looked like it in the first half. They handled the San Diego State pressure pretty well.
They did, and San Diego State, when you prepare for them, you know it's going to be a physical basketball game. They're going to really emphasize defense and on the glass, and Gonzaga handled that pretty darn well. They had a chance. They got up 13, maybe to extend that lead going into the half, but give San Diego State a lot of credit. Closed it to 9.
What do these numbers tell you about the first half?
Well, quite frankly, neither team shot it well, which is not a surprise when you're facing, in particular, San Diego State. But Gonzaga, after some early foul issues for, in particular, Graham Ike, they put themselves in a position where they were able to take advantage of getting to the free throw line where they were 12 of 15.
Well, Ike, 2 quick fouls, in comes Huff, and man, he's been one of their best scorers in all 4 games now.
Well, he's averaging 16 a game coming into tonight, and he showed it in many different ways, which you want from your bigs. You need them to score underneath the basket, whether it's in duck-ins or running in transition. He did that. But also then to add the ability to stretch the defense, shoot it from beyond the three-point line with a soft touch like he has. He's showed the entire package throughout the season, and he's also done it tonight.
If you're San Diego State, how do you work your way back into this game? I know it's only 9, but it feels like Gonzaga has been in control the whole way.
Well, Nick Boyd had a good first half, 11 points, and Miles Bird, who is questionable to play tonight, has yet to score, and he's a big piece of what they want to do on the offensive end of the floor.
Hickman, offensive rebound, missed the jumper, and that's not going to help San Diego State. They don't get that rebound either. The Star Watch, we told you that Miles Bird had an ankle injury and was questionable coming in. He's played but has not scored. Nick Boyd has, and he has scored. Ike backing in against a smaller Guac. That left hand, he's fouled, and a free throw. That's a mismatch, not in height, but in muscle.
Yes, you are right. EK wins the battle of girth there. Backs down to his sweet spot. Shoots the little jump hook through contact. In time, Guath will be able to handle that back down game on that low block, but right now, that's a tough task.
So the Bulldogs open with a 3-point play, and now a 12-point lead. And back into that pressure. As Steele getting it back, though, is Boyd. Davis right to the hoop, and he scores. B.J. Davis, transition bucket, good press break, and it came off of a bad pass. Nembhard enters, EK scores. That's easy.
Deep post position from EK after setting 2 ball screens, but the patience from Nembhard, your point guard, to get to a position where he can pivot and deliver, textbook.
Davis, Bird, and Boyd in the backcourt for San Diego State. Boyd, little inside look. Corner kick, 3 on the way. Guath can hit those, but he misses that one. Nembhard, corner, Ajayi, yeah, with the 3. And the Bulldogs come roaring out here in the second half and stretch the lead to 15.
Ajayi showed the ability to shoot it from beyond the 3-point last year in Pepperdine. 47%, limited attempts, but that one looked here coming off his hand.
Davis whips it. Guath, the redshirt freshman. Got his shot off. He missed it. Nembhard always pushing tempo. Ajayi misses that 3. Hickman, another offensive rebound. Bird has the loose ball. Has a man. And that's Davis in transition. Bulldogs really have kept this crowd out of it. And if you've never been to a game here, I mean, they're all jammed in here, 11,000, and they're right on top of the floor. EK, and a foul, I think, before the shot. But this crowd, every time that a little bit of a run, they're taken back out by the Bulldogs.
Well, it's the start that Gonzaga wanted. Establish the interior, EK on the low block, and then when you get out in transition, fill the lanes either to the rim or fill it out wide to the deep corner. Gonzaga scoring in both those instances.
Lagoon Guath just picked up his 4th personal. And EK hits a free throw. Guath is out. Farrell Compton is back in.
That's the thing that San Diego State in years past, you would sub a player with experience for another player with experience. This time you're taking Guath out as a freshman with huge potential, bringing in another freshman with huge potential in Farrell Compton.
Lead is 14. Davis doesn't look like a guy who barely played last year. He looks like an experienced vet out there. Bird can't get it, EK does. Battle. Good move by Hickman, rising, scoring! Wow, Gonzaga. They obliterated the number 8 team in the country, Baylor. Beat them by 38. Bobby Hurley's Arizona State team came to town. That was a really fun game to watch. Arizona State played well, Bulldogs beat them.
And Arizona State, one of the surprises in college basketball. They beat Grand Canyon, who was in the NCAA tournament a year ago. Bobby Hurley's got the Sun Devils back on track.
Ajayi with that foul. Hickman has just a variety of ways to score. He's not just a 3-point shooter.
Oh, his ability to shoot it, you have to close out. And if you close out too hard, he's got that ability to put the ball in the dribble 1 or 2 times and get into the floater game.
Heidi is in, Coleman Jones sits down, and Boyd has another free throw. Nick Boyd is a senior, but he's got another year of eligibility left, so they could get 2 years from him. Nemhard. That's a rare turnover, and that's blocked off. That's a goaltend. It was well off the glass, and that wasn't going in, Dan Gitkow. That was not a great move.
A rare miscue from Nemhard. Good anticipation from B.J. Davis, but I mean, we are in San Diego. I was curious if maybe there was beach volleyball K-Lift battle wanted to partake in earlier today.
Crowd starting to make some noise. 12-point lead. Ajayi, Boyd the rebound. Aztecs 2-0. This is the first real test. You see San Diego gave them all they could ask for. This is the #3 team in the country. We're looking for some points. Frustrating night for him. Double comes, Boyd. Bird's corner three, Heidi with the rebound. Davis, that's a three.
Big shot there. One of the best times to get an open three is off the offensive rebound. Heidi tracks it down.
Nemhard finds EK for another layup. Boy, Nemhard now 7 assists. Man down. That's Compton. 5 minutes in, second half. Little run by San Diego State. They are down 11. 5 minutes in, second half. 11-point Gonzaga lead. Farrell Compton is number 5 for San Diego State. And I don't see where he was hit at all, but he came down and immediately went down on all fours and went to the locker room. He got up and walked in. But he's in obvious distress.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see any particular instance in that stretch where EK scored, where there was contact, or he landed awkwardly in some way. But hopefully he's all right.
Almost all of the points for San Diego State have come from the backcourt. Boyd has 13, Davis has 11. Off the bench, McKinney has 6. They're not getting anything from the bigs right now.
Well, outside of Jared Coleman-Jones, you know, it is a very young front court. They do have potential, but to ask them to really deliver against a #3 ranked team in the country is a tall ask. This is going to be something that they can build upon, though, for the future.
Boyd gets in, gets the contact. I think that was going in regardless, but Heidi touched it, and that wipes out the bucket. And Boyd's not pleased. Let's see if it would have gone down. It looked like we're going to hang around on the rim.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to take one more bounce on that front of the rim and eventually fall through.
That's a costly mistake.
His high school coach, Jason Griffith. Come on now, Jason, you taught him better than that. Mount Si High School, just east of Seattle.
Battle had a quick start in this game into the sea of arms. Boyd has the ball and the break. Kick back. Corner, Davis. That's a three.
You're starting to see a player who is really getting comfortable, B.J. Davis.
EK has been a load here in the second half. He's been unstoppable. Backing in, turning, and getting to the line. DeMarshe Johnson trying to defend him, and he picks up a foul.
Nick Boyd, the dribble penetration. Battle late on a potential rotation to Davis in the corner. Wayne McKinney likes it.
When Jeff Linder, the Wyoming coach, scouted Graham Ike, he was really an unknown. He didn't play much his senior year in high school in the Denver area. He was injured. But he had seen enough of him in summer ball, you know, the back courts and such. that he thought, you know, this guy could be really good. And he was really the only coach that offered him. And Ike went to Wyoming. They developed him, and he went to the NCAA tournament, took him to the NCAA tournament, and then had an injury year, and then ended up transferring to Gonzaga.
And last year at Wyoming, averaged over 19 points, almost 9.5 rebounds a game.
He's really an old school post.
Back to the basket, wants, as an offensive player, to feel the presence where you're at with contact, either overpower you or spin off of contact to create a better angle to score.
Bird spins off the screen, gets in the air, ball knocked back to him. Shot clock at 8. Davis against Nemhard. Misses the 3, long rebound. Bird has it, nice dish. Heidi drops it, picks it up. Plenty of time, he forces a shot, and there's a rebounding foul, and that's Ike, it looks like. And Huff is coming off the bench. And Huff checked into the game, and now he's coming back out. There's confusion. They didn't want Huff in. They want Hickman in for Battle. And it is actually Battle's foul. It's not Ike's foul. 3 on Battle.
That makes sense why they sent Huff back to the bench.
It sure looked like Ike, not only to the Gonzaga bench, but to us. San Diego State just can't really puncture this cushion by Gonzaga. Nemhard got cut off, ball's out of bounds, and it stays with Gonzaga. DeMarshe Johnson's like the 3rd big of the night, trying to get in there and soak up fouls against Ike.
Brian Dutcher told us that at shoot-around today. He likes the mix of these bigs, but he also likes the fact that he has so many bigs that if at some point this season they get in foul trouble, which it's looking like that is a little bit of the case tonight, he's got another guy or 2 he can go to.
And Jared Coleman-Jones is going to be the main muscle in low. He's back in the game. That's Coleman-Jones guarding Ben Gregg. Ike angry, he wants the ball. Nemhard off a screen. Too strong. And DeGorville runs it down. Here comes Boyd. Trying to cut it to single digits. DeGorville cut off by Stromer. Boyd driving, bumps. 3rd team foul on the Bulldogs. A lot of fouls in the first 5 minutes of this game. The officials, I think, really set the tone, trying to take some of the physicality out of this game. Coleman-Jones off on the 3. 6 of 19 are the Aztecs from distance. Bulldogs 5 of 16.
San Diego State hanging within striking distance. If they can get a stop or 2, get a bucket, energize this crowd.
Hickman finds Ike. DeGorville fouls him. And he'll get free throws when we get back. 10-point lead for number 3 Gonzaga on the road in San Diego.
Gonzaga has time to do something. Suggs for the win. Oh, yes! Unbelievable! Unbelievable! They don't have the scorers on the floor. It's Butler with 2 seconds. He's got to put it up. And he wins it! He wins it with the jumper!
Final Four memories for both these schools go back to 2019 and include NCAA tournament games. The most wins, the 4 top teams, Gonzaga, Houston, San Diego State, tied with Kansas. In that 2023 season, great run. That win was over FAU. Nick Boyd was on the losing end of that game.
He was on the losing end of the shot that Lamont Butler hit. That was him guarding. I tell you what, though, he has been a terrific add to this program. He's been really good tonight. 13 points, 8 rebounds. But the thing that's most impressed me about Nick Boyd is his aggressiveness in attacking the paint. He's been fouled 6 times, so he's been a problem for Gonzaga's perimeter defense.
So a lot of similarities in the program. Now, Gonzaga has been better than San Diego State, flat out. That's not a question. I mean, really better. San Diego State's been really, really good. You know, Mark Few and Brian Dutcher, they both have an identity. They both will go play anybody, anywhere, anytime. And that's how they've kind of built the NCAA resumes or the bids, is they do their work in November and December.
And Gonzaga's had to do that by being in the WCC, because a lot of times their Ken Palm and their net rankings will take a little bit of a hit when they get in the league. The Mountain West, as good as it was last year, there's been a few years where the league has kind of not been as good. But that doesn't look to be the case this year for the Mountain West. I think they're going to be really good again. But to your point, both of these coaches have an identity how they want their teams to play. Gonzaga, that's fast offensively with skill, defensively with a lot of grit and toughness for San Diego State.
And Colvin Jones with that spinning hook, and it's back to a 10-point game. The other similarity is they both do a good job of taking transfers that fit in their programs. I mean, they do take transfers, but you have to be a Zag if you're coming in here, and you have to play defense if you're coming to the Mesa to play for the Aztecs.
Yeah, it's all about fit for both of these programs. And Brian Dutcher and staff, one of the first questions they ask potential recruits is, do you love defense?
And if you don't, you're gonna, because that's how you get on the floor and you play.
Or if you don't answer it the proper way, they don't not recruit you anymore.
That's Gonzaga defense right there. Stromer with a steal, and he's fouled. Again, every time San Diego State makes a little push, Gonzaga has an answer and gets it back over 10, now a 12-point spread. That guy right there, Battle, is coming into the ball game. He's really an interesting add to this team. He's a flat-out scorer. It's his 4th school. The Muss-Bus got a little sideways last year at Arkansas, his only year. He had 15 points per game in that one. They liked what they saw, and we talked to him about how do you fit with this team? How do you like Spokane? And he said, it's the best atmosphere I've ever played in.
Yeah, he was very complimentary. He loved it. He thinks playing in McCarthy Athletic Center in Spokane is something special. And I tell you what, I have the chance to call a lot of the regional games for Gonzaga, and the fans have really taken to him up in Spokane as well.
Intentional or not, Dan Dickow?
Well, let's see. Boyd loses the dribble, and I would think so.
That keeping the right arm on while he reached around with the left.
Reached around and made sure he grabbed him with the left as well. I would think so, but we've got a veteran officiating crew here tonight. Vern Harris leading the charge.
This is not a rule change year in college basketball. There aren't many, big changes. They have, I guess, clarified the block charge, the takeoff of a shooter to that plant foot once it's planted. We did see in the first half the point of emphasis of continuing to try to take some of the physicality out and establish freedom of movement. We saw some of that in the first half. It's a common foul.
Probably good decision by the official at this point in the game. I mean, that is, after a turnover like that, that's a smart foul to not give up the 2. More of the intentional would be if it was more of a bear hug as opposed to just a foul.
common foul as opposed to an uncommon foul. Nembhard rubs his man off the screen. Huff begging for the ball inside. Got a smaller man on his back. That's McKinney backing in, and McKinney fouls him. That's team foul number 6 for San Diego State. There's a ton of time left in this game. 10.5 minutes. McKinney played good minutes in that first half. Had 6 points in the half, has not scored in the second. Nembhard, that pick and pop's been effective for Gonzaga tonight. Shot clock's down, got to get it up. Huff forced it up. And a rebound at the rim by Magoon Guath, who's in with 4 personal fouls. Halfway point, second half. We haven't seen, now we do. Farrell Compton has come in, and a left-handed drive there. Nick Boyd back to a 10-point game.
It's a great finish from Boyd coming off that pick and roll at the top. Nembhard's a little bit on his edge. Take the physical contact to him off the glass.
You got 3 freshmen on the floor for San Diego State. Huff turned away. McKinney kicks. Boyd's 3. Oh, nice tip. McKinney got it, scores it. And finally, they get within single digits. Nembhard. Battle. And another offensive rebound by Gonzaga. Stromer strokes it. Guath, Gregg, bucket, foul, and a free throw. Gonzaga is eating San Diego State up on the offensive glass, and that rarely happens, especially in this building.
They are one of the best at taking care of the responsibility on the glass, but give Ben Gregg a ton of credit, flying in from the weak side, not to be denied. Magoon Guath picking up his 5th foul. Only a freshman.
And remember when Compton went down, he's down again. And again, he just, it's got, I mean, it has the looks of a cramp.
Yeah.
We'll try to get a report. 4 points, 3 rebounds for the freshman from Las Vegas. Preseason Mountain West Freshman of the Year. Very similar to when he went down a few minutes ago, in that he was down for a while, then when he got up, it was kind of this type of walk.
It's almost as if he can't straighten that left leg, so.
Then Gregg to the line. And Gregg with a 3-point play. He's a great, I mean, like Ben Gregg, terrific program guy, connector. You see Compton headed back to the locker room. Boyd drives. Man, he kind of thrives off contact at the rim.
I would expect the last 8.5 minutes, if San Diego State's going to continue to climb back in it, there is going to be pick and roll after pick and roll with Nick Boyd. Gonzaga struggled to stop it here.
We have been told by the San Diego State staff that it is cramps. Huff turnaround. Greg keeps it alive. Another offensive rebound for the Bulldogs. And Nembhard draws contact. He'll get free throws. 9-point Bulldog lead. Nick Boyd, going to see a lot of him this year. Tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, MACtion, CBS Sports Network, into the MAC, Akron and Kent State. The show is here tonight. One of the great student sections. Gonzaga has a great student section. They also have a great low post player in Graham Ike.
It's really quiet in the first half, especially due to those 2 quick fouls he picked up on the defensive end of the floor, but he has really come alive. 12 of his 15 points here in the second half. He's done a really good job of creating opportunities with sealing on the low block or screen and roll and find an angle to receive the pass from the guard, and then simply just take your time and go to work.
You were talking about depth for San Diego State. Gonzaga's depth is like Final Four good. When you bring a guy who led the league in scoring last year, Ajayi off the bench, when you bring Huff off the bench, he's averaging 16 a game, and in the first 3, he's got 10 tonight. Dusty Stromer. And they have so many ways they can beat you. Ike is eating San Diego State up in the low blocks. Hickman, Nembhard. And this is not good. Miles Bird into the locker room. Of course, Bird had an ankle injury in the final seconds of that UC San Diego win. That was in game 1. Didn't play in game 2. Practiced yesterday, practiced today. And that's a layup. And a rare one for San Diego State. Bulldogs' interior defense has been pretty good tonight. It's back to a 9-point game with 7.5 minutes left. B.J. Davis. That's his 4th. Vern Harris talking it over. Now, Davis is saying that Nembhard grabbed his arm.
That's just the experience level of a point guard like Nembhard. Understanding you get a younger guard that wants to pressure up towards half court. As soon as you make your move, you create a little bit of contact, and it's usually, as we saw there, the second bit of contact that draws the whistle from the official.
So Davis has 4. Guath has fouled out. Right now, they're without Miles Bird, who's limped to the locker room. They're without Farrell Compton, who also kind of straight-legged it in with cramps. And the Bulldogs, who have shot free throws well this year, have continued that trend tonight. They're 23 of 27 from the line. They had a lot of big free throws down the stretch against Arizona State. Battle in particular. Boyd to Corville against Greg. A little mismatch on speed. Greg altered the shot. Nembhard in traffic. Good rotation. Stromer's out of bounds. That's such a common occurrence because shooters want to set up outside the three-point line in the corner, and once they step back to get the ball, just like that, they're out of bounds.
Well, it would have been a travel as well, because on the catch, you kind of split-stepped where both feet went into the air.
Was that a problem with you, a three-point shooter, both in college and the NBA?
Not in college, but once you get to the NBA, because that line is even closer to the sideline.
McKinney, corner kick. Coleman Jones turned down the three. McKinney won't, and the line drive three is off. Bulldogs can't blow them out. And San Diego State can't reel them back in. And they've kind of stayed, these two teams, 9, 10, 11, 12 points apart for most of this half. Greg off balance.
Well, they got the switch that they were hoping for. Greg just couldn't deliver with the smaller Boyd on him.
Boyd's floater won't go. Ball's loose. Boyd's on it. And a foul on Gonzaga. And that's Braden Huff. Ike and Ajayi are coming in. Huff and Greg coming out. There's your foul trouble. Whoa. Watch this. Nembhard isn't even looking. Nembhard didn't touch it. That's a turnover. Yeah, the officials kind of conferring. That was not deflected. That's a Gonzaga ball. Nembhard feeds Ike. He's sandwiched and fouled.
This is an important stretch, not just for this game for San Diego State, but I think for the early growth that this team could have. They're a group that hasn't been together for very long with all of the new faces. And some of the returners are in different roles. You're starting to see a little bit of frustration set in with multiple guys.
College football continues Saturday, San Diego State. And it's on the Utah State winning some games. 3:30 Eastern on CBS Sports Network. Mountain West has been a fun football conference this year with Boise State.
Yeah, they have one of the Heisman frontrunners, that running back, right?
Ashton Genty is something to see. And of course, UNLV has been terrific and has been in the top 25, just near the top of the top 25. And they still have college football playoff hopes themselves. They're going to have to somehow get to the championship game. Colorado State is unbeaten. UNLV has one loss. UNLV would like another shot at Boise State. Under 6 minutes. Bulldogs have been in control of this game just about all the way. Save for that 6-0 run early in the first half. San Diego State got within a couple. Nembhard starting, stopping, starting again, and scoring again. And flexing now. And he should.
They've gone back to mid-pick and roll with Ike and Nembhard. That time, McKinney doesn't quite fully get through it. They don't switch it. Nembhard able to turn the corner and use his quickness.
Nembhard approaching a double-double. 15 points, 8 assists. Heidi on the feed. Left-hand hook. Can't score over Ike, who has the rebound. Ike 17 points and now 6 rebounds. Back to a 14-point lead. Nembhard creating offensive foul.
Gets the defender on his hip, keeps him on his hip, shields the ball with his shoulder high off the glass, and then follows it up with trying to do the same, but that's a little bit too much overemphasis going the other direction.
Not as big as his brother, the Indiana Pacer, former Bulldog, but he plays bigger than his size.
Yeah, they both have an unbelievable feel for the game, a vision, a passing ability. They've both been very good to this Gonzaga program.
Where will the points come from right now for San Diego State? McKinney maybe. There's a three. Still a long ways to go. Down 11, 4:24 left with number 3 in the house. The Aztecs are down in San Diego. Bulldogs by 11. Still this divide between the two teams, again, 11 points right now. Ryan Nembhard is having a terrific start to his season and a big night tonight.
15 points, 8 rebounds. But as a point guard, you want someone who can see the game, control the game, dictate tempo, and he's done all of those things tonight. He's had patience, been able to deliver into the post. He's pushed in transition. He's been successful in pick and roll situations. Another great night, 15 points, 8 assists.
Again, this crowd, which is at times tried to rise above. They have been quiet, which is a credit to the Bulldogs. He with a screen, off the ball, battle with a foul. That's a foul. And a pretty easy call for the official. Stromer in, battle out. That's his 4th personal. And there's Bird right now with the trainer. Again, if you're just joining us, he had an ankle injury, kept him out of the last game, questionable tonight, has played. That's a foul, and free throws coming for San Diego State. We'll update that story when we get back. We're under 4 minutes here, 11-point lead for number 3 Gonzaga. (70-59), Gonzaga on top of San Diego State. Compton's back with his cramps. That's Bird, who has a hand on his back. We saw him in the runway near the locker room up against the wall, and that's him live right now. You can see he wants back in, but the pain is something. No, this is a concern for San Diego State for 2 reasons. Not just for this game. There's Reese Waters. When these two teams played last year, he was the best player on the floor. And that's a boot. Stress fracture. He's out for at least another 6 weeks. They really miss him, the USC transfer. But if Bird is going to be down for some time, we told you these two teams have a gauntlet of a schedule coming up. And San Diego State's going to Las Vegas, where they'll get number 14 Creighton, then they'll get Oregon, and then they could get Alabama or Houston in that event. 10-point ball game. Heidi couldn't follow. And Gonzaga has the ball in the lead, a 10-point lead, 3:40 left. Bulldogs themselves have a gauntlet, right? Going to the Bahamas, West Virginia, Indiana, Louisville, maybe Arizona there. Then they have Kentucky, then they have UConn, then they have UCLA before they get to January. Oh, it's a great runner there.
We've talked about it throughout the broadcast. Ryan Nembhard, his patience, his ability to see the game and then at times create something out of nothing and execute. Another example of that there on the pick and roll into a nice finish.
17 points, 8 assists for him. And that three is missed, and it feels now the Bulldogs have this one under control. 3 minutes left. Aztecs, not a great shooting night. 7 of 23 from distance. Another offensive board, no. Picked up by Davis. Heidi, not the guy you want with it. DeGorville takes the three, and that's short. Opportunities for the Aztecs. But right now shooting just 26% from three, and 37% from the field. Bulldogs haven't had a good shooting night though. They've done a lot of damage at the free throw line. Is it 25 of 29? Ike calling for it. Ike scoring in the low blocks. He's putting on a clinic. 19 and 7 for him tonight.
Terrific second half for Graham Ike. Catches it on the post, quick decisions there.
Now remember, Ike has faced San Diego State with Wyoming, with Gonzaga. He's 0-5. He played on this floor once, but there were no fans. It was during COVID. So he was really looking forward to playing in front of the show, playing in front of 11,000. And he's enjoyed his night tonight. We've got a next generation stat for you. Possession percentage. And it's the percentage of possessions that your team scores when you are on the floor. Got it? So it's kind of like a fancy plus minus.
Sure.
Right? For Ike, he's close to 90% of the possessions tonight. Gonzaga has scored. The next closest Bulldog, and this was about 2 minutes ago when they ran the numbers, 45%.
Some next level stuff. Rich Waltz, where are you finding all these stats? I like it.
We have a crack staff of researchers scattered throughout these great United States. 74-61. Bulldogs going to be 4-0. And this is going to be a really nice road win on their resume. Coming up, you want next level stats and analysis. Well, that's coming up. Steve Lapis, John Rothstein, Chris Walker, Brent Stover. Inside College Basketball on CBS Sports Network. The youth and the health of San Diego State showing here, and the depth and the experience and the talent for Gonzaga showing up as well. I mean, there's, like I said, there's a lot of teams that are experienced, but there aren't that many teams that are experienced and have been together and played for a head coach and played with each other like Gonzaga has.
You're exactly right, and that's why if you're a San Diego State fan, you can't be too disappointed with this effort. You've got Reese Waters out. Miles Bird, he was essentially a game-time decision. He struggled with his ankle tonight, missed some time with what looks like back spasms. Compton's been out. There's a whole lot of new people in new roles. I think this Mountain West, the league that they have challenged for a league title throughout the tenure of Brian Dutcher, they're going to be at the top of that list again this year.
Well, it looks like they're going to get Waters back when they get to Mountain West play. Although they start Mountain West play early, they do have a game against Fresno State. So Creighton and Oregon, and that to be determined could be Arizona. Minute and a half here. Or excuse me, it could be Alabama or Houston in Las Vegas. Arizona could pop up in the Bahamas with Gonzaga. Greg takes a three and missed it. Ike rebound. He adds Yeah, I think he picked up his double-double just like that.
Yeah, he may have. We'll see how many they credit him there.
They gave him 1, maybe 2. He's at 8 now. Maybe if he misses another. He hits that one. Ike's got 21 and 8 unofficially. All right, now the gauntlet for Gonzaga. This is really fun. I mean, they're going to the Bahamas. They got West Virginia. They'll get either Indiana or Louisville. And I said Arizona's on the other side. In Seattle against number 9 Kentucky. And on the 14th in New York against number 2 UConn. Who knows, when they get to New York against UConn, if something squirrely happens to Kansas, that could be 1 versus 2 in Madison Square Garden. Just saying.
There is, I know
a lot of things
we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but you and I talked about that at shoot-around. It's a very real possibility, and how great would that be for college basketball for 1 versus 2 to be in Madison Square Garden?
Not great for Kansas.
True.
Everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else. The game itself.
Nemhard feeds, Ike dunks. A clinic. San Diego State just did not have an answer for Graham Ike, and he finally gets his win against San Diego State, and it comes here in San Diego as Boyd hits a 3. Ike 23 and 9. 1 shy of the double-double. Final seconds evaporate. Mark Few, Brian Dutcher, number 3 Gonzaga on a tough home floor. Tough environment for San Diego State. Inside College Basketball is coming up for Dan Dickow, our entire CBS crew. I'm Rich Waltz. This is a presentation of CBS Sports Network, 24-hour home of CBS Sports. On to New York. Inside College Basketball in our New York studio.